Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday, the 12th of September. So, I'm going to kind of do a follow up sermon on what I talked about yesterday and how things went and how I learned from my experiences. So, stay tuned. Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Sunday, and my name is Eric. If you didn't already know it, yes, this is the weekend. During the week, it's Monday through Friday. We talk business and repairs, but on the weekends, I kind of go off the rail and talk about personal development, God, whoever, whatever. So, yesterday we were talking about picking your battles and how important that is. That do you really want to die on that hill? I mean, if it's something really important to you, then yes, you're going to pursue it, right? But if it's not that important, what do you do? Do you decide to fight anyways, or do you pull your troops back and say, let's regroup and come at it a different way? Because if in some situations, no matter what you do, you can't win. You know, take it from this old fart, and many of you on this channel are up in years, so you know exactly what I'm talking about as far as, you know, you're going to have a lot of battles that you can't win, no matter what you do. So, using my own advice that I gave myself yesterday on that video, is I decided to just go with the flow. Not raise a stink, not get into a confrontation, not he said, she said, who said, what said. It was just simply, I'm here. If you guys want me to have him hunt with me, I'll hunt with him. If you don't and you're going to stay on your high horse, whatever. So by doing so, because one of the things that I mentioned yesterday was that my daughter said I need to start standing on my own 2 feet. And I took it as, all right, that means, because I still have somebody, my daughter-in-law, do my meds. And, you know, just give you an example, this week they put me on another antibiotic, but my primary nurse practitioner wanted me to stop taking 3 of my other meds, which 2 were heart meds. And I can't take out of my medicine after she's done it and recognize the pills that I'm supposed to take out. So when I picked up this medication at the pharmacy, I asked the pharmacist, I said, hey, if those meds aren't taken out, am I going to die from it or something? And she said, not really, Eric, but it's going to heighten, it's going to make those 3 drugs even more potent. So with the one medication that you take for sleep, it's going to intensify it. So you're going to be tired all day long if you don't pull it out. She said, why don't you just do a half of one of those? And I don't like to admit that I can't do it, but I can do it. And so I mentioned to my... So anyways, I've been taking all the medications with this new one, and been kicking my ass, but it's easier for me to do that than to ask somebody to take time out of their day to come pull out those 3 meds for 5 days, right? Today's my last day, so hopefully tomorrow everything will be peachy peachy. But she wanted me to stand on my own 2 feet, so I took that as, you know, you need to start pulling back stuff that other people are doing for you. And I pretty well pulled everything back. The medications, I kind of held off trying to do anything with that because, yes, there are a number of medications in that medicine. If you get them wrong, you could die from it. And whether that be not getting the medication for AFib and everything else, or in my case, getting more than what you're supposed to. That I get confused on how many of each and when, and so my daughter-in-law has basically spoiled me because she just shows up even when I'm not home and leaves a note or a text to me that your meds are all set until this date. And she keeps track of it, and she doesn't seem to mind doing it. And my grandsons get involved too at times. But I had sent a text to her saying, how much I appreciate everything, but I was going to take and start doing my own meds. And I was at the point of where I was thinking, you know what, it's easier for me just not to take meds than it is to ask somebody to do my meds, if that's how I have to stand on my own 2 feet. And she took exception because my son said, what's going on? And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, Kirsten said that you no longer want her doing your meds. And I said, yeah. I said that I'm being told I need to stand on my own 2 feet. And there's not a lot that I'm asking anybody to do, but I said that was one of them. And he just shot right back, because he stayed here and cut wood with me yesterday. He said, can you do it? I said, probably not. Then she's going to do it. You don't have any choice in it. Because he said she thinks she's done something wrong that caused you to do this. I said, not one iota. I said, she's been a godsend. That she spoiled me of where I don't have to worry about that aspect of my life. My meds are always correct. So she's going to continue doing my meds. But there's a miscommunication. It's saying to stand on your own 2 feet. But as my son said, you don't understand what's going on the other side. The turmoil, all that stuff. And you can either be sucked into it, or you can stand back and just stay away from the impact zone. Most of my family is saying, I need to continue the way I'm going. That what they want to see is me back to health. And it doesn't, if it's in a form of where I'm not the old Eric, that could answer things quickly or multitask and everything else, they're okay with it. Because what's the other side of it is not being here at all. So the first thing you need to do is you have to realize what your limitations are. And when is the time to ask for help? And when is the time to step up and do it yourself? I know my doctors are amazed at how much progress I've made. We're not talking the mental progress, we're just talking physically. My body I'm building it back up. I'm cutting firewood every day. I'm staying active. I'm busy. And when I get in for the night, I'm just tired right out. And it's a good tired. It's a tired from being active all day. Because let's kind of look at reality of most open heart surgery patients. Is the tendency is to go back to their old ways. And my old ways were almost 4 packs a day of cigarettes. And have I replaced it with vaping? Yeah, but one of the vape things will last me a week. So, and that's $20 compared to what is it on the res? $40 a carton, and I was buying 8 cartons at a time. So, do the math. How much money I'm saving. And I'm taking the meds the way they're supposed to be taken, when they're supposed to be taken, and other than these 3 meds that are supposed to be taken out, that My daughter-in-law offered to come over yesterday and take him out. I said, "Look, I got just one more day, and I'm through with this because they're heightened. Because my heartbeats per minute haven't gone underneath 100. They've been staying right up there around 115 to 130, and that's tachycardia. But that could be a direct correlation to the 3 minutes that I supposed to take it out, right? I guess what I'm trying to tell you is that by not reacting yesterday and just kind of going with the flow, next thing I knew, I had my son was here, my daughter was here, my grandson, my granddaughter were here, and we were doing things together. And everybody was fine with it because Dad decided to be non-confrontational and call people out. And why didn't I? Because I didn't want to be part of the problem. And the problem is miscommunication. You can either let dead dogs lie, as my father-in-law used to say, or you can beat a dead horse. It's still going to be dead no matter what, right? So that goes back to yesterday of picking your battles. I mean, did I want to die on that hill? No, I wanted my grandson to be able to do some hunting with us. And he went out last night with my son. They saw 7. 3 of them were bucks, but they were quite a ways out. And my grandson smartly said that he didn't feel comfortable shooting that distance. Perfect. He's learned something from me. So now, this morning, about probably an hour ago, hour and a half ago, I got him up. And an hour ago, my son and he headed back for the same hut that they saw 7 last night. Because all the bucks that I've been seeing on the farm have been in the morning when I go over into that back meadow. So that's what I was telling him before he headed out, was this morning is going to be your best shot, or tomorrow morning, whichever. But I said, you're going to see horns close enough to you. So in the end, it all worked out well. By doing nothing. My old self would have done something and probably caused more of a rift. But the new me is like, what the hell? What am I going to do about it? So put in the comments if you've ever had this where, there's sometimes you can't win whether you do this or that. So just by doing nothing sometimes is better than doing something. If that makes any sense. So on that note, you guys enjoy your Sunday. I'm hoping to either hear a gunshot or my phone light up that he's got one on the ground and he needs me to go over with a big tractor and haul it up to here. What am I doing today? I'm going to stay in my lane and continue with the firewood and other miscellaneous things. Claude got my 2240s loader arms, the Rams, on day before yesterday, so we're going to start hauling the hay that my friend gave to me last week so that I can start putting that away. You guys enjoy your Sunday.